Hello and welcome to Seahawk Talk on Wednesday, March 31st, the day before Andrew Pizzelli's favorite day of the year, Monday, Thursday. Let's bring in Mr. Sorelli right now. How are you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing good, Ed. Yes, tomorrow's one of my favorite holidays, but I'm not going to divulge any secrets here on this program, so people will
But
just have to wait and find out.
You can give folks a clue on past April Fool's Day, right?
I mean, how much time do we have? We're
gonna tease it because right now we're gonna go to the shake and keep your distance. And I'm in a venue right now where I can be rocking out because I do have music playing to my left. Hopefully it's not getting us any copyright infringements. But
I was gonna say, yeah, Ed, tell us. I mean, set the scene here. I mean, this is not in the office. This is not a green screen background for you. You're live out in the field right now.
I'm feeling some wind at my back. It's bright sunshine out here, which is very nice. Jared Coleman, by the way, located the backdrop that belongs zipped in here. So I was very happy to hear from him today. He found it, or his crew found it, sometime in the last several months. It had gotten sliced, the clear plastic part of it. I don't know if you can see that on that screen. The clear plastic part of it had a gash in it. So they repaired it, and it's supposed to be delivered today, sometime during the ball game. And we have two ball games going on today from Reynolds Field. South Virginia baseball and Curry College are getting very familiar with each other. They, as the saying goes, familiarity breeds contempt. Well, we're on game number 5 at 3 o'clock today, but games 1 and 2 happened on Saturday, March 27. A sweep for the Seahawks, including a nice come from behind in the bottom of the 7th inning of game 1, where Matt D'Amato pulled out a 2-run double. Seahawks trailed 8-5 in that game, and D'Amato's 2-run double capped it for a 9-8 victory over the Colonels. And then in game 2, Salve won 8-3. The setting moved up to Milton, Mass. the next day, and we all saw the forecast. There was going to be rain on Sunday.
Wet.
Well, these guys snuck it in. They started at 9 or 9:30 on Sunday. Game 1 finished with a 4-2 final for the Seahawks. Starting pitcher Joe Escandon went 6 2/3 innings, and then Holden Ferrari came in and shut the door for a 1-out save in the bottom of the 7th, because Seahawks were the road team, and they got Game 2 started. They completed 5 innings, so it's an official game already. But Game 2 of all these CCC doubleheaders are scheduled to go 9 innings. Game 1 scheduled to go 7 innings. Game 2, 9. So it halted at 5 innings on Sunday when the rains came there.
The deluge.
Salve softball postponed it smartly the day before, I guess because they couldn't start earlier than noon as it was scheduled. And where I was in Warwick, Rhode Island at noon on Sunday, it started pouring right on time.
Oh, yeah. Same here. I mean, you'd think it sounded like a train going by and someone power washing the windows. So, yeah, the right call was made. An hour before that, it was like, it's not raining. This could be a night. It could be cloudy. It's just going to be. Nope. Yeah, it ended up being a torrential downpour.
So the Seahawks and the Colonels got through 5 innings. I've got on my screen, I've got 3 devices here. One of our MacBook Pros is in StreamYard for Seahawk Talk. Another MacBook Pro is over here I'll pivot this. So this one is
The
doing
behind-the-scenes look at the broadcast booth.
Yeah, production truck for our baseball broadcast, and then even better, our new PC laptop that's going to do Presto Stats. And Chris McKeon did a great job on Sunday doing the stats. I don't know if he did them in Presto, but because of the way Presto sets it up, I'm able to log in and click and just resume where he left off.
The wonders of
So
technology.
It's a nice thing.
Now, Ed, I mean, for me, it's awesome, and it's also still weird at the same time to be going and doing the games. I'll be at women's lacrosse tonight, was at men's lacrosse on Saturday. It feels so normal and so right, but at the same time, it's still bizarre. But how did it feel to be out at the field on Saturday, calling the game, having games to cover, and also getting to see some familiar faces? Some familiar voices as well jumping on the broadcast.
Well, you say familiar faces, but
it's true, from the nose up.
I mean, I'm socially distanced right now, so I'm good. And I'm always prepared to do this, pull this up. I don't know if that affects my audio quality, but it may. So, yeah, familiar faces. You know them from their batting style, Andrew. So when they get to the plate, oh, that's who that is. If you can't see their uniform number, you check them out from their batting style. But one of the familiar voices and familiar faces that I was very happy to see and work with on Saturday was our former head coach and the father of our current head coach, Steve Sorella. He joined me in the broadcast booth here. He had his 2 vaccinations, and he had done enough time in isolation before he was able to join us here and really bring a good part to the broadcast, because
wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, he can connect with the alumni that he coached, and even the alumni that preceded him when Andy Andrade was the coach. He did a shout out to a lot of the guys because he stays in contact with them, and not through Facebook because he doesn't have an account with Facebook, but some way, somehow, he stays in contact with them. He's getting texts from them regularly, so he does have a cell phone, which is wonderful. But I remember when he was coaching, the joke would be, "I'm not on my face."
Yeah. Hey, did you talk to him at all? I mean, he's a grandpa.
Oh, he's a grandpa times 2.
Yeah.
And then soon to be times 3, because his daughter Rachel, who attended Salve Regina and graduated as a 4-year volleyball player, an outstanding setter on our women's volleyball team in the aughts. She had a son several years ago, named him Brody Edward. So my middle name doesn't get front and center, but Brody gets front and center. And Eric, a proud father, and made his dad a grandfather again.
Awesome.
So he was winded getting up the stairs on the donkey here. But he brought some great insight into the broadcast, not only from watching the 2 games on Saturday, but also the stories that he could share with us from over the many years that he's been involved with the program.
Yeah. And like you said, two good wins for the Seahawks at Reynolds Field, their return to their home site. Men's tennis, it was supposed to start on Saturday. Obviously, the nature of this year, games are going to be moving. Everything's in flux. So they get their season kicked off today. Talk about some of the exciting things they'll be having. I mean, a busy day. We've got men's tennis home, women's lacrosse tonight, baseball right here, softball on the road, men's lacrosse on the road. So it's an exciting and busy day. We're happy to have it. And we're also, like you mentioned, the technology stuff, some new things for the tennis teams. Talk about what we have going on over at the courts today.
Andrew, one of the things that Steve Sorella asked me on Saturday was about recruiting. And it was a setup for him to talk about Damian Costantino, which I understood. So I didn't understand, and I want to give a shout out to Alyssa Tancreed, who's going to be playing tennis tomorrow for women's tennis. So thanks, Alyssa, for jumping in on the stream with your comments. Coach Zakara, I didn't recruit him. I showed up here in 1992 to coach the men's tennis team. he was a freshman already with Pete Stanley. So I inherited such a talented men's tennis program when I arrived here in '92. Adam played 4 years, graduated, moved on, got jobs elsewhere, and then lo and behold, a couple of years ago, came back and said, "Hey, coach, I'm in the neighborhood. I'm in Newport." He lives at Cary Mansion, believe it or not, on Ruggles Avenue, where he has 3 tennis courts that he does some private training there. And then he helped out Pete Torgrimson just a couple of years ago as a volunteer assistant. That was his foot back into the door. And then Pete and his wife had a baby and then relocated to Alabama. So that opened up a head coaching opportunity for somebody. Adam was a strong candidate. He was hired. And then today, Andrew, one of your former predecessors, Pete DeVito, emailed me yesterday because of the way we play in pods with several of our sports, men's and women's tennis, baseball and softball are playing in pods. So they're in small groups of teams. They're going to be playing each other regularly. Yep. So we're going to be playing Nichols tennis 4 times over the next month or so before postseason competition begins. So in a sport like tennis, that's getting very familiar. So Pete already had planned ahead of time, hey, we're going to stream 1 or 2 courts from our tennis on Saturday. And Saturday tennis in the CCC is going to be a combination of what I love to see. It's men's and women's tennis getting together at one venue and playing a combined match. So there'll be 18 matches on the 6 courts at the Bison's home courts in Dudley, Massachusetts. So he's got a video stream ready to go on court 3 and 4, and live stats updates through Google spreadsheets for folks that can't be in attendance in person, but they can experience it through the technology. So at our place, we're going to use StreamYard because with StreamYard, we can have multiple inputs. And if the players, I know the coach is willing, but if the players are willing, share your mobile device. Coach will give you a link to go into StreamYard and mount your device high above the fence, shooting down onto your court. All right? So when Gavin, Parent, Andrew Pizzelli, or I are also into that same StreamYard studio, we'll see action going on a particular court. We'll put all 6 courts up at once if we have 6 cameras going, or we'll just solo a court and say, hey, check out the action on these 2 courts. So Alyssa, Tancred, get your teammates out there, get your devices, get them all charged up.
Charge, as I say, charge the phone. Maybe get some of those power packs.
Absolutely. We don't want to lose power when you're high above courtside, and all of a sudden, as the producers, we're behind the scenes looking at StreamYard, unlike what we're doing now, although we can actually bring somebody else that's behind the scenes right now. Gavin, welcome into the stream.
Thank you. How you doing?
Very good. You're going to be broadcasting tonight with Andrew.
That's right. The women's lacrosse game at 7:00.
Yeah, let's get a quick preview on that. We've talked baseball, we've talked some tennis. What's happening tonight for Sal Virginia women's lacrosse?
Well, it's their first home game in 396 days.
Wow.
That's insane. February 29th, 2020 was the last time the Seahawks were home. And they weren't even at Gaudet either. I'd have to probably dig back. It's probably been since 2018, or 2019 rather, since the Seahawks played a game at Gaudet Field. I'll have to dig that up.
So Leap Day was at Topa Field last year?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it has been quite some time since they were home. They started their season on the road. The men's and women's teams alternate. So the men hosted Endicott here on Saturday. The women were up at Endicott on Saturday. Lost that game against a very strong Endicott team. But coming home, ready to play against Wentworth, who they've had a good history against. But Wentworth always plays everybody tough. So it should be an exciting game. Fun to have under the lights at Gaudet Field. And hey, good to meet Gavin in person. I mean, here we are.
I
The
know.
nature of this year. There's so many people. Last season on Seahawk Talk, I mean, Mike DeFusco I knew from covering baseball. Joey Morelli, never met him before, and still haven't. It may never, because he's going to graduate, and I think he went home. I think he's remote this semester. I'm not
Everything's
sure.
on Zoom now. It's gonna be nice to meet you.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been interacting here in StreamYard with Gavin. We called a basketball game, a week and a half ago, remotely. So it'll be good to Gavin. It'll be good to see you in person.
Yeah, definitely. Although we do have the technology now,
and see your face from the nose up.
We had the technology for the basketball game where you were remote and I was at the game. That was a pretty cool technology device that we could stream together. But it's gonna be nice to be sitting next to you this time calling the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we pulled that off pretty smoothly. So
We did.
think about how much better it's going to be, both being there live. Go figure.
Yeah.
Novel concept.
Now you can truly nudge the camera person, Andrew.
Yeah. Yes. Gavin will be pulling double duty again, cameraman and color commentator. So we'll have to double his pay, Ed.
Exactly. We will. We'll two times 0. We'll get it done. We got to thank the Leopards, by the way. They're taking the place of the University of New England, who unfortunately suffered a situation where they have to pause their entire campus. So that includes athletics. They're unable to play any games during their pause, which I believe hopefully expires April 10th, that they should be back and running. And because of the nature of lacrosse, both men's and women's, they're playing a full schedule.
Yes.
A round robin, technically, against all teams within the CCC. And that includes welcoming our newest member, Suffolk University, correct?
I actually
do they have lacrosse?
Believe so. I'll double check. I can't recall ever entering them on the schedule, so they are not on the schedule. So no Suffolk for lacrosse. I don't know if that's because of something where they're not playing.
On your machines, would you like to pull up the poll results for these sports that we're talking about? Because you did a great job of preparing those graphics and the stories and the links associated with each of those polls. And I think
the weekly awards.
The polls. So if you go into the Seahawk headlines,
I got one better. I'll pull you up the video that shows all of them.
Ooh, yeah. I like that. So baseball and softball were picked to finish first in their respective 14 pods. Oh yeah, let that run, and we can be talking about them. Pat Maybach, Lauren Packer, Anne Marie Haas, John Leonard. Nice to have the captains represented on their respective graphics.
No lacrosse for Suffolk, so that would explain that.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. I know they have ice hockey, so and basketball. Obviously, we'll see them there. We won't see them in baseball or softball because there's no crossover in those pods until the postseason happens.
Yep. Or tennis either.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and they do have tennis, or that at least they had it years ago.
Yep.
I know some schools have cut sports, and whenever I see a school cut a sport like tennis, my daughter's school at Jacksonville University, we're talking Florida here, they cut their tennis program shortly after she graduated. I'm like, no, that cannot happen. That should never happen. It doesn't take much to run a tennis program.
It does not. Now they don't have any. This is this is us doing the deep dive here. They don't have anything on their schedule for tennis, so I'd have to go check the B sides of our polls. To see if for some reason they're not competing in tennis. We'll get to the bottom of this.
We will. We'll serve up the information. We won't double fault it.
Love the reference.
Thank you. That's the daily dad joke. Well, here at Reynolds Field, the head coach is Eric Sorella for the Seahawks. And let me get the roster out for Curry College. Paul Bartolotti. He's in his 4th season with the Colonels. They're at behind home plate on the skirt of the backstop, and they are not exchanging lineups because this is the resumption of a game already played. They're saying, hey, is this how we're resuming the top of the 6th inning? And in the top of the 6th inning, due up for the Seahawks are Dylan Ketch, Sean O'Malley, and Brandon Grover. That's the 3, 4, 5 hitters in the Seahawk lineup.
It's always interesting with games in situations like this. Anybody who pitched in Game 1, who's a reliever that maybe obviously wouldn't have been available in Game 2 that day, suddenly could become available in this game if need be. But given it's so early in the season, I don't know how much Eric would want to go to maybe try to get a lot of guys looks as possible and not give a team, especially since you're playing Curry so much, that many cracks at a guy who you could be potentially wanting to have in your pocket down the road.
Actually, in this game, Andrew and Gavin, the Colonels were already on their 3rd pitcher of the game. So Ryan Williams had started. Nick Kavrakis had relieved him in the 4th inning. And then Brendan Teixeira pitched the 5th inning. He gave up 2 walks in that frame, but no runs. Their starter, Ryan Williams, gave up 6 runs in 3 2/3 innings. So Salve starter Zach Dione had pitched 5 full innings. I'm not sure yet if he's going to be taking the mound in the bottom of the 6th. That can be settled after the Seahawks bat in the top of the 6th.
I assume it's very different playing the same team like 5 or 6 times in a row.
It feels professional, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels like a postseason Major League Series.
It's like the series they do in the MLB, but a little bit longer.
Yeah. So it's 2 here, 2 there, and then 1 back here. Technically, if Sunday's 2nd game didn't get halted, but they're resuming it today, and we're fortunate to have good weather. I know Nichols and Roger Williams moved their Wednesday scheduled doubleheader from Wednesday today to yesterday, and the Hawks swept the Bison in that setting.
Well, they have lights, so they could have, I think, depending on the time, technically could have played into darkness with lights there, but it is supposed to start raining again tonight. So
you're correct.
It will be raining at Lacrosse. Not when we start, but when we finish, it will certainly be.
Are we going to get rained on tonight?
It will certainly be. Bring a coat, Gavin. Yeah. It's going to be wet.
Yeah, because you guys have a 7 o'clock start, right?
7 o'clock.
Yeah. And it'll be 6:30, I believe, at Topa with the University of New England. But now since Wentworth is coming down, I think the earliest we could start with them was 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Is women's lacrosse, is it quarters or is it halves?
Halves.
It's 2 halves. That's what I thought.
Yeah, 2:30s.
So it's gonna be fun. Hey, it's an exciting. This is exciting. We've been talking about this, having actual games, highlights, things to talk about. Oh, speaking of highlights, I mean, if you want, there's some highlights from.
Please do.
Saturday's men's lacrosse game that are certainly worth sharing again.
I'm actually going to say goodbye to the Seahawk Talk audience and then jump over to our baseball audience. So, gentlemen, good luck tonight with women's lacrosse, and congratulations to the nice highlight that you're going to show.
Thank you, Ed.
Awesome, Ed. Hopefully no extra innings. Good luck.
Thank you. Maybe I'll see you later on tonight at Good Egg.
Potentially. So there goes Ed Habishaw. He is live at Reynolds Field. That's exciting. And this is going to probably be the case, Gavin, going forward. A lot of the rest of the way here. We're scheduled to do Seahawk Talk, I think, through the end of May.
Yeah.
So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for us starting Seahawk Talk from different venues, potentially during playoff games. So it'll be a good way. We could have like the pregame show. That's what this is going to essentially become. The pregame
a lot
show.
of opportunity with all these games coming up. So
yeah,
it's going to be different, but it's more fun. It's fun that way.
I want to pull up two highlights. This first one, if I can bring this in. This is just a toughness play first. This was from men's lacrosse. This is Max Van Winkle. So I'll pull this up. And we'll just go ahead and let this roll. Chambers will get it away to Max Van Winkle. Seahawks led 4-1 in this game out of the gates. Van Winkle absorbing contact from 4 goals, and he keeps on going. Wow. I mean, to keep the ball. That was impressive. See if that kind of play gets the Seahawks going. So, that was a highlight. I mean,
that's a highlight.
Usually you see a guy get
wasn't so appealing, but
you see a guy get flipped over by 4 guys like that. The fact that he was able to hold on to the ball was, how did he winkle out of that one?
What was the other part of that game? Did they end up coming back?
They did not, but hey, they made it a fight. It was kind of one of those deals where Endicott went on a big run in the second quarter. Salve started chipping away in the third, and eventually you kind of run out of time.
Yeah.
But it was a good game. It was a good game. The game never got away. Really competitive. The nature of the season, that's it. So for us versus Endicott, but maybe we'll see them again down the road.
Yeah, we will.
This other play, I'm sure many of you have seen it by now, because it did go out on Instagram and our Twitter feed. But for those that have not seen it yet, this was a Hail Mary-esque play between Marco Mongelli, an incredible pass, and Brendan Kelly making a really difficult over-the-shoulder catch. So we'll just give you guys a... Final seconds, first quarter. Long lob pass up ahead. Kelly with 3 seconds. Kelly to the net. He scores! Brendan Kelly with 1 second to spare. The long lob from Marco Mongelli. This is just the final seconds are just ticking down here in the quarter, and you can see Mongelli. He points. Like backyard football. Hey, no, go deep. Unbelievable pass. Kelly snags it, turns, and has no choice and is able to get it to go with 1 second left. And that'll do it for the first quarter.
That was a dime. That was an absolute dime.
Oh, on the money. So the pass, amazing. The catch, amazing. The goal, amazing.
Yeah, I think Kelly's a lefty too, so catching him in position to go to the left, he was kind of a perfect pass.
Yeah, no, absolutely awesome. Like we said, Gavin, highlights. How great is this? Highlights to use. And I'm sure we'll have more highlights from today. Baseball is in action. They're starting over at Reynolds Field. Softball, 2:30. They're on the road versus Curry as well. Men's lacrosse is on the road today versus Western New England. They'll get that game started, I think, at 7 o'clock. And men's tennis, 3 o'clock. Multiple camera angles and a live stream from the courts here near Antone. And then me and you, 7 o'clock, live from Gaudet Field. So, Gavin, I will see you tonight. How about that?
I will. I'll see you in a few hours.
All right. Take it easy now. So, that is Gavin Parent, the producer here on Seahawk Talk. I want to thank Ed Habershaw for joining us live from Reynolds Field. Make sure you tune into all the action here today for Salve Athletics. You can like, follow, and subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube, and our Twitch streams to get Seahawk Talk and various other live content. That's where our men's tennis streams will be as well. And you can also just search for each Salve team in YouTube to get their live pages, or go to the team schedule page. There's always a live video link in there for you to go find the live streams of every game. So thank you for joining us here today. Plenty of action. Get out there. It's a gorgeous day. Catch all of the games. Get outside. Can't go to the venues. No spectators, but you can certainly get outside and listen to all of us giving and bringing the games to you. So thank you for tuning in to Seahawk Talk. You can always catch the live stream of the show every Wednesday at 12:30 or the podcast through Sounder FM. That'll do it, folks. I'm Andy Pizzelli. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you next week.